Welcome to your MMA update. I'm Dan Cox, my partner Bomb. Bomb, what's happening, buddy? How you doing?
Very good, Dan. How are you?
I'm peachy, you know. Hey, what's it like over there in Boston? Did all that 50+ inch snow melt?
Yeah, there's about 6 inches left on the ground. It's been 50 degrees here a couple days in a row. It's beautiful.
You're loving life.
Loving it.
Hey.
Yesterday, 60.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to hear about that. It's not 60 here.
All day.
Hey, UFC 185's coming up, man. Big fights in there. I'm pretty fired up about this, man. First one I got to start with, Pettis. That fight's going to be huge. Dos Anjos, I tell you, for me, it's a no-brainer. I see Pettis going in. I even see a first-round KO in this fight. I think Pettis has just got too much for him, standing or on the ground. You know, Dos Anjos, people are kind of fooled into thinking he's a KO guy now with that fight with Ben. But, you know, he's not a KO guy. You know, what do you see happening in that fight?
I'm with you. I think it's going to be a KO on Pettis' part. I think it's going to happen in the second or third round. Pettis definitely by KO. Dos Anjos, you're right. His stand-up has come a long way. Is it the same level as Pettis's? No. His BJJ might be the deciding factor for him if he can get Pettis down. But Pettis is also a BJJ practitioner. He's got his brown belt. He's got his black belt in Taekwondo. His third-degree black belt in Taekwondo.
Yeah.
He's a black belt in kickboxing under Rufus. He's got a yellow rope in capoeira. The kid's all around. He's a beast. He's going to come at you. He can fight you backing up. He can fight you off the ground. He's coming into a fight with a guy who's never been in a fight with someone like him before. It's going to be a bad night for Dos Anjos.
Oh, it is for sure. And you know something, Bomb? He is one of those really creative guys, right? He comes out with awkward strikes, things nobody ever expect. You know, a la the Showtime kick against Henderson, the last WEC fight. It's one of those things. He does that on the ground as well. He's prepared. He does things a little different. His ground game, obviously, ask Gilbert Melendez. He'll tell you he had never been submitted before. What happened? He tried to take it to the ground. He lost via choke. I think it's a first-round KO. I think Pettis is going to be a shining star in the UFC. I think he might dominate that division for a long time if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the longest reigning champ out of all the champs right now. I think he's going to hold on to that title a lot longer than anybody else, and that's included Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse, I understand he cleaned out his division. Where does he go from there? The only option for him is to move up, and will he be that dominant in a you know, the next weight class up? As for Pettis, Pettis is going to just rule that division until he's completely cleaned it out.
Yep.
And then if he moves up, I can see him, you know, adding on his weight, moving up, and handling that a lot better than Mighty Mouse would. So, in my opinion, I think Pettis is going to be the guy that's going to be around for a while. He's only 28 years old. He's in the prime of his life right now. He's in his fighting prime. And like I said, the kid's highly skilled in so many different aspects. It's just going to be hard for anybody to beat him.
It is. And, you know, I just think that as he gets older, you know, he hasn't even hit that man strength age when he hits about 32 or so, and he really is the strongest he'll ever be in life at that point. In my opinion, that's kind of the way it works for the guys. And I'm looking forward to it. There's no doubt in my mind Pettis walks away with this one clean, probably without a mark on his face. But we've got another fight on that card that I know you're dying to talk about, man. Start me off on it, Bomb.
Yep, Johnny Hendricks, Matt Brown.
Yeah.
I'm still looking forward to this fight. In my opinion, it's the best matchup in the welterweight division. It's two guys who have great chins, two guys who have no quit in their game whatsoever. But the difference is, Hendricks can end the fight with one shot, but Matt Brown can press you into just quitting. He can just zap your energy from you. And we all know Hendricks has a problem with the gas tank, and it's the whole cutting down to 170. Maybe it's the way he cuts weight. Maybe he's just hitting that age where it's a lot harder to take that weight off now. And Matt Brown's the guy that's going to press you and make you exert all that energy and make you gas a lot quicker than he's going to gas, because let's face it, Matt Brown has a great gas tank.
Oh, hey, Matt Brown wins fights on pressure alone. He makes people quit. They don't get a chance to breathe. And you're right, Hendricks, that weight cut is terrible for him. His last fight with Lawler, actually a few fights you can go back and you can see how drawn out, how weak, how unhealthy that he looks at weigh-ins. I mean, that's the bottom line for me. Now, he's saying that he's about 180 right now and that he's the healthiest he's ever been. The weight cut's great. We hear that all the time. If I'm not mistaken, we heard it before from him. What else is he going to say, right? But Matt Brown, for me, is one of my favorite fighters. We're looking at a guy that has come from, some low places in life and just rose above it. It's amazing the story that he has and where he's come from to where he's at now. And I just love his work. He's a hard worker. He doesn't give up, and he pressure. My issue with this is the liver. Bomb. It seems every time he gets touched to the liver, Matt Brown is hurt. Hendricks not known for his kicking ability, obviously. Although he did a lot of great leg kicks with Lawler in the fight, I thought was really important to him winning the first fight and competing in the second. But if he could get some kicks off to the liver, could he end Matt Brown's night? I think he could. I'm looking for Matt Brown, though, to pressure Hendricks, to expose the weight cut, and to expose him there on the cardio side. But like you said, one left hand is all it takes from Big Rig. And, man, it's hard to deny him that.
Yeah, and on top of that, he fights from a southpaw position, Hendricks. So he can always land the left of the body.
Yeah.
And that could be a devastating shot for Matt, because like you said, Matt has had some trouble with that whole liver. And I mean, I understand it. I've been hit there. You've been hit there. It's a painful situation.
Yeah.
You go down, you have no control.
Yeah.
It's hard to recover from, but Matt Brown has recovered from it. That's the most spectacular thing for me. It's not only has he taken those shots and gotten hurt, he's absorbed them and came back and most of the time has won the fight. And here's a guy that I'm looking at in Hendricks. His last couple of fights, I mean, they were lackluster. He ran out of gas.
Yeah.
His last fight with Robbie, you saw it and I saw it. Everybody's seen it. People can say whatever they want. If there was another round in that fight, Robbie was going to win that fight, probably by knockout. And I'm looking for the same thing to happen with Matt Brown. Matt Brown's not going to run out of gas, and he's going to press the fight all 3 rounds, and you're going to see Johnny Hendricks maybe out of gas at the end of those 3 rounds, like he was at the end of the 5th with Robbie.
Well, that's exactly it. And, the last fight with Lawler, for me, the end-all, be-all was, and I'll go to the first fight, actually. Now, in the 5th round, Hendricks got the takedown. You've seen Lawler with his face, his expression. He knew that was it. He knew he lost. In the second fight, the same thing happened, roles reversed. If you see the bell go at the end of the 5th, you see Hendricks turn, shaking his head, and you see behind him this possessed man pursuing, still ready to take him out. I mean, that was an obvious win on both sides for me, just by their expressions. But I want to see exactly what you're talking about, and that's how does he respond to the pressure? Because Hendricks doesn't fight going backwards. Hendricks comes forwards. And listen, that's not going to work when you fight the Immortal One. He does not go backwards, period. Like you said, he gets hit to the liver, he gets hurt. Has he been finished that way? No. This guy comes back, keeps coming. He doesn't stop. He's not going to quit. I like Matt Brown. I think it's an upset for a lot of people. It's not for me. I think he's going to expose Hendricks in this fight. And unless Hendricks lands the one big left, I really think the Immortal is going to come out on top. And I'm excited for the future for Matt Brown.
Me too. I think Matt Brown's going to win a gritty, hard-fought decision. And this is where you're going to see maybe Johnny Hendricks take a step back.
Yeah.
and start evaluating whether he wants to make this cut down to 170 anymore.
I agree. And, you know, listen, he's never going to admit. Now, he did admit, of course, he has a real hard time doing the cut. It's a hard cut. I mean, you got a guy that's walking around at 220 or so normally. Maybe if he was able to maintain 200 pounds, you know, as a normal walk-around weight, it would be a smart move to stay at 170. He's too little to go to 185, in my opinion. He's going to really have to think, what am I going to do? Because he has to either get healthier and eat right, or he's going to have to make a decision. I think Matt Brown's going to help him with that decision, and I think it's going to come at UFC 185. Man, I can't wait to see it. I know, of course, you're dying to see it. We've talked about it so much. Hey, listen, everybody watching, if you have a comment, something to say, I'd appreciate it. Go down to the bottom here on YouTube, leave a comment for us. Tell us what you think, maybe your picks. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Or you can go on Twitter at Combat Circle and engage. Let's talk about it. Let us know how you feel. We'd really appreciate it. I tell you what, for LUB-MMA, for my good buddy Bomber, I'm Dan Cox. This is your MMA Update.